Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to give you a vanilla update. A really sad vanilla update. So it is the end of January. It's not that sad. There's nothing to worry about, but some interesting topics here. So it's the end of January. My vanilla orchid is suffering as usual in the greenhouse, so I've now brought it in the house. And this is not its regular spot. I moved it here because it's dark outside, and this is just a good spot to film right now. Good lighting and stuff like that. I'm just sort of in the hallway nook. But anyways, yeah, I brought it in because it stopped growing outside in the greenhouse. Whether it be just a lack of light or a lack of temperatures or both, my vanilla has just stopped growing and I haven't done an update on it. So the crazy thing is, I think even like the tip just like literally stopped growing, like it went dormant or something like that. So the care for this guy, obviously the greenhouse is not warm enough and not bright enough for it in the wintertime. It seems to thrive out there in the summertime. I've had this going for years now. It's never bloomed on me. I repotted it 03-16, so it's been nearly 2 years since I repotted it last. Wow, how time flies. I measured it once with you guys, and the vine like is wrapped around, and it was something like 15 feet long. I don't remember the exact measurements. It's never bloomed on me, but it seems like every winter it stops growing, and then it has to start growing again, and it usually comes out from like a side spike or something like that. So this fall, I promised myself I wouldn't leave it outside in the greenhouse. I would bring it in and give it a nice home in a sunny window here inside, and I never did. So I checked on it the other day, and sure enough, it has stopped growing again. The tip is way up here. I think the last tip is way up there, and it's a stub. It's not that it's rotten or anything. It just nicely stops growing on me. I can't even describe why. I might try to get the camera up higher so you can see that little stub. But yeah, so these guys, if you're trying to grow one of these, I have successfully brought it back from this non-growth state in the house before, just on my south window. It just starts to grow again. So it might become just a house orchid where it lives in the house all the time because it just absolutely hates it outside. So I'm going to pause the camera and try to raise the tripod, and we'll show you the growth point. All right, here we go. So I have this like really awesome tripod that is bigger than me when it's fully extended. This thing goes to like 6.5 feet tall. And so I'm up at its max, and we're looking at this sort of like stub up here. You know, it just like stops growing. It's really crazy. There's a root. Don't mistake the root for new growth, because that's not new growth. You can just see that little black spot, which would have been the new tip, and it just died and left like a non-open wound. Look at this little spot here. You see this little, that was the growth point, and it's like just the very center cord, we're going to call it, of the thing, the very center leaf, and it just fell off too. But it's a nice dry growth point. This is totally fine. So the trick is now just giving it some warmer temperatures and some brighter light in the south window, and hopefully it will start to grow again. I'm going to adjust the tripod so you're going to jiggle a little bit while I move you back, because you're all leaned in. So yeah, that is what's happening. Not much. I would love to tell you that it's got lots of growth points and some flower spikes coming, some bloom spikes, but not the case. The only thing that was really good on this in the greenhouse this time of year is the roots, just like everything else in the greenhouse. The roots are just fantastic because of the humidity in there. I'm going to lower you down on the tripod. Other things other than the temperature, so it didn't like it into the 60s. So the house is obviously in the 70s. I'm going to keep it in here. It's planted in a mix of moss, orchid bark, and some perlite, with a little bit of oyster shell in there by the looks of it, just for some calcium and magnesium. It is due for a repot, so maybe one of these days we're going to repot this guy together. It's kind of tricky how we repot it, because it's all anchored in there, so we don't really want to move it too much. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.